Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. We're back for another video. This time we're going to use the Pet Love stamp set and the dies that come in the mini September through December 2025 catalog. So there's a lot of cute little things you can do with the dies and stuff. So I got 3 projects we're going to work on today. So let's go ahead and get started. Our first one is this one here, and let me get my stuff out here. Okay. And as always, I will put the dimensions in the description so you can go back and look at that. So we are using a cloud cover card base. Okay, and then we have a layer of real red. We have a layer basic white, which is embossed. You can use whatever embossing folder you want to use. And then we have another layer of cloud cover. And then we have some of the In Color Designer Series paper. And we're going to do some, and we'll do some die cutting and some stamping. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the paw prints all over the cloud cover with cloud cover ink. So we have our paw prints here. Oops. So let's go ahead and we're just going to stamp all over. Ugh, keep missing that bottom one. It's all right, we'll cover it up. Right. Well, I tell you what, it is very windy out today. And then we're just gonna wipe up our workspace a little bit there. And then while we've got this out, let's finish stamping. We're going to stamp our sentiment. This one is actually for when a pet dies. So it's kind of a sympathy card. So we're going to use no longer by your side, but always in your heart. So we're going to stamp that on a piece of paper. There we go. And then we have our real red ink, and let me just clean this off so I don't mess up. Okay. And then you're just going to take a piece of scrap paper and we're going to stamp the little heart that says always. Okay. And we're going to die cut that out. So let me clean this up. I think we're done stamping for this card. Okay. All right, so I've already die cut this out. So here's our die cut. Oh, you know what? We forgot to stamp. Here it is. We're going to stamp our collar. And we're going to stamp it on real red with real red ink. So we're just going to put a stamp it right like that. So it just gives it a little bit of a tone on tone. Now we're done stamping. And then with the magic of camera, we've already die cut that out. So these are die cut out, and then this is a die cut to do the buckle, but we don't need these pieces here. So we're gonna just trim them off. So I'm just gonna trim on that crease right there. There we go. Okay, let's throw those pieces out. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a little bit of gluing, and then while that's drying, we will put some other pieces together. So we just want a little bit of glue on here and here. And then we want to just glue it down. Oops. There we go. And we can sit that on our silicone mat so that we don't get glue everywhere. All right, now while that's gluing, let's put our layers together. Hold please. I think we're out. Let me just double check. Yeah, I'm out. Should have filled that before I got on the air, but this is a way for me to show you that our stamp and refill are refillables. So don't throw them away once you are done with your stamp and seal. You just buy a little refill pack and you just pop it right in there and put these pieces together and you are back in business. Okay. So let's go ahead and glue this piece down. And then we're going to glue this piece down. Okay. Next, we're going to glue this piece down. And then we're going to glue our DSP, our Designer Series paper. And we're going to cover the whole bottom white section. There we go. Now, before I put this piece together, I want to glue this piece on. So we're going to put a little bit of glue there. And we're going to turn it, hold for a few seconds. You can adjust it if you want to. There we go. And I actually think I'm just going to glue this piece down just because there's a lot of little pieces as opposed to using the stamp and seal. Okay. So we are going to, and you see I covered up some of my little mistakes. Can't even tell. Now, while we're letting that dry, we are going to pop dot our sentiment up with the dimensionals. And we're going to put that right there. And then we're going to finish it up with the 2025-2027 in color flat pearls. And we're going to use the cloud cover ones. So we'll just put one there. And we'll put a small one right there. And then we'll put another small one right there. All right, so there you have it. There's our first card. Cute. Okay. Next card. I got some little pieces here. This is our next card. So this one is a cute one. And if you have somebody that watches your pet for you, be a cute little way of saying thank you. So we are using Lost Lagoon. And we are using, yes, let me think what this plaid is called. Timeless plaid. Timeless plaid. Okay. So we're going to get another piece of scrap. Let me see if I can find something. There we go. So let's sit that up there for now. We're going to do our stamping first. So we are going to try to find the stamp. Well, I don't know where I put it, but there's a I love you. Oh, it's right here. Duh. Okay, so we are going to stamp that in the Memento Black. And then we're going to die cut that out. So put that aside. And we're going to use your possum pet sitter. Okay, so we're going to stamp that sentiment right there on that piece of paper. I believe that's all of our stamping for this card. So let me clean my stamps off. This is a really cute set for people who have pets and love their pets. All right, so before we do this part, we're going to glue down our designer paper. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to do our piece across the top. This piece I want flush against the edge here. Okay. And then I'm going to put this piece down next. So we want that flush against the edge too, but a little bit of a border at the bottom. And that will help me line up this piece. All right. And flush against. All right, so now that we got that on, let's go ahead and adhere this to our card base. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our dies. We're going to cut the scarf out. This is Lost Lagoon. I cut this out of the Designer Series paper. And then we have the little tie. We're going to put that on too. So let's put this piece together. This one also might be a better piece to glue down if you want to do that. I'm going to line it up down here, over here. It should line up just like that. And then, I'm trying to think how I did this. We're just going to glue this piece down too. Right on top. Oops. There we go. All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to use this die here, and we have our tag that we die cut. And to do this part, I use this circle on pecan pie, and then I use these three. I just laid these three little paws in here when I die cut it. And I did it all at the same time. So we have this piece. Now, before we put this piece down, we have some linen thread. So we're going to cut a little piece of that off, and we're going to tie a bow on there. Okay. So get it about in the middle. It doesn't have to be exact because you can trim off the ends. And then I'm just gonna tie this down like this. And then we're just going to tie our bow. Sometimes my fingers want to work, sometimes they don't want to work. There we go, and then we will trim off the ends. And there's that piece ready. We also die cut out 3 dog bones that we're going to attach, and then we're going to attach this little heart. I think I'm going to use a glue dot. So let's get a glue dot out. You probably can't see it on there, but there's a little glue dot right there. And we'll just, well, we'll try to get it centered. There we go. And then you're just going to cover up the black part of the I heart you. There. Okay, so that's ready. All right, so next we got a circle that we die cut out of with the Stylish Shapes dies. So let's put that down next. We're just going to kind of put it right like that. And then we're going to dimension up our scarf. Get rid of those. Oops, missed one. And we're just going to kind of angle that a little bit right there like that. Just watch it all go off the edge. Oops. Got to put our little circle with the ball prints. We're just going to tuck that under. Just like that. And then we're going to dimension up this piece. And we're just going to put that right there. And then we're just going to glue down our bones. Okay, so we'll stick one right there. We'll stick one right there. And we'll stick one right there. So there's your second card. A lot of die cutting, but it's worth it. All right, let's move on to card number 3. Where did I put the, oh, there they are. Okay. So more die cut pieces. And this is the card we're making. So we have a white card base.